What is up, everyone? Welcome to EOE Radio TV. This is your host with the most to say. As always, it is your girl, Miss J.
Yes,
Now, go
Miss
ahead,
Molly.
Chulo. Chulo.
Excuse me, I was coughing.
The host is about to please forgive us one moment.
I'm sorry.
Raise your arm. Raise
I don't have
Yeah,
COVID, but sorry. Anyway,
put your hands over your head.
no, it's your girl Smiley, Miss. If you like it, I love it. With our fellow host.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, you know who this be? That standing boyfriend, the man you love the most and hate the most at the exact same time. That standing boyfriend, Hef Chulo, is in
yes,
the building.
yes, Chulo. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome everyone to this segment of cinnamon tea. We have a very hot and spicy topic that we are going to be discussing today. And it is a little controversial, would y'all say? Maybe a little bit,
Yeah. I could
maybe,
say it can be. Yeah.
maybe.
I say it can be.
Okay. Well, the topic of today is he a deadbeat? He means a gentleman that tells a woman upfront when they start to date, he doesn't want any children. He does not want to be a father. The woman decides she's going to go ahead and have that child anyway, and he has nothing to do with it. Is this gentleman a deadbeat? And I want the team to go ahead and weigh in. I actually want to hear Hef Chulo's opinion in reference to this. Get a
Is
guy's
he a
opinion.
deadbeat?
Is he a deadbeat?
Okay. Well, my whole thing is this. He's a deadbeat if he already have 12 kids. And then he tells you he don't want to have no more kids. He's already a deadbeat.
Wait a second, repeat that again.
He already have 12 kids. So now he having a relationship with you. You're like, hey, I don't want to have no more kids. I got plenty of kids now. Hell yeah, you got plenty of kids. What you mean? You got 12 you're not taking care of.
So that
But
makes him a deadbeat because he don't want a
yeah,
13th child.
yeah, because he don't want to. It makes him a deadbeat because he's continuing having kids and not protecting himself for not having kids. As a man, 13 kids, bro, you gotta go ahead and get snipped. Like
Okay.
you gotta go ahead and get snipped.
I'm confused. So
Snip.
he's a deadbeat because he said he doesn't want any more kids.
Cause yeah, he don't want no more kids, because he done passed
That's
his
not a deadbeat if he's
No, that's
making
a very responsible
right.
decision.
very responsible. No,
That
two,
yes,
three, four responsible.
no,
12
no.
is not responsible.
Okay, let me just weigh in really fast. And I know Miss Miley knows that men don't mature as quickly as women do. So it may have taken him until that 12th child to mature and say, okay, this wasn't a good idea to be procreating all these children, knowing that I cannot emotionally or financially or physically take care of them. So when it came to the 13th child, he was mature enough to say, no, enough is enough. I can barely take care of or am not taking care of the 12 I already have. I think that is a very
Keyword. I
mature
am not.
decision.
I am not taking care of the kids I already got right now.
So the
So
fact that
why?
That's not the question though. The question is he a deadbeat because he's saying he doesn't want anymore? No. Now he may be a deadbeat to his other children, but the point is if he's making a responsible decision, granted it's probably 11 children too late, but he's making a responsible decision to say, look, I can't do this no more. I don't want any more children.
But then if he cannot tell her, he cannot control her. He got to control himself. So I'm gonna get hypothetical. Hypothetically, my mother, when I started having sex when I was like 7, a place this is, but I was young. I was young when I started having sex. Yeah. So when I started having
somebody
sex,
called CPS.
uh,
Like,
Please.
my mother used to say this. My mother said the only thing that you could control as a man is if a girl get pregnant or not. That's your responsibility. So my mother said, I bought you condoms for a reason. And if a girl get pregnant, it's not her fault. It's your goofy. It's your fault, goofy. And I'm like, well, mom, she has a point. You can control you if you get pregnant. Only a man can control that. So if he's saying I don't want to have no children, then you gotta be responsible enough as a man to say, hey, either I'm gonna keep it wrapped up or I'm gonna get snipped. One of the two. You can't lay that responsibility on that woman and expect her to say, okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. That takes two. The question.
No, it takes one. It takes one.
No,
It takes
the
one.
point that Ms. Jay was saying, the overall question is, if, let's say, and I'll use myself as hypothetical, if I am able to have children and a man tells me I do not want to have children, either we're going to have this conversation and come to an agreement that we're either are or not if it happens, or we need to separate our ways. So if I decide to be with this man, knowing that he doesn't want children, knowing that I can have children and I'm not protecting myself, it's both of their faults, not just his, not just hers, because we had this conversation. Now, if we didn't have this conversation, then that's a whole different thing. But if a man came to me and said, I don't want children, and I end up getting pregnant anyway, he's partly responsible because he didn't wrap his junk up probably. And I'm responsible because I knew he didn't want to have kids and I didn't make it so that I couldn't have children. Now, accident happened.
See, you being too easy. But see, you being too easy. You being too easy. It's not your fault. It's his fault. As a man, it's his fault. It's his fault. Again, if you don't want to have children, as a man, you gotta take the responsibility to make it work. To make sure, oh, let me try my pull out game. See if that works. Hey, let's
Some
keep it
people
wrapped up.
pull out game is weak.
Or
I make songs about it all the time.
I could give tutorials later on, but that's besides the point. But or they're not wrapping it up, or he just got to get snipped. You cannot put the responsibility on the woman. No, you can't. As a man, if you a man, that's your responsibility if that woman get pregnant. Nobody else's.
Okay. Well,
But if she get pregnant, that's on you.
I wasn't expecting that from you, Heptulo. I'm actually shocked. I really thought, being a male, I was going to get the typical class atypical male perspective. No, I'm not a deadbeat. No, he's a deadbeat. Men have rights. All of this stuff. I really expected that from you. So
now if I'm sleeping, now if I'm sleeping, you take it from me at night. You did me wrong.
Just stop.
You did me wrong.
Do not.
I'm going to court and I'm saying, hey, I was asleep at the time she took it from me.
No.
And it's not fair.
This is serious. It's like, seriously, like on a serious note, there are so many men right now that are going through situations where they have told a woman, they meet a woman, you're getting to know each other. What are your 5-year goals? What are your 10-year goals? Do you want children? What do you want to be at financially in the future? These are conversations that people are having, and men are saying to women during these conversations, the courting period, I do not want to have children. And the women are saying, okay, so they know this. So the men, so you say, okay, it's the man's responsibility. Your mom told you if a woman gets pregnant, it's your fault. The men are using protection. They're making sure that the woman is using her protection, taking her pill. They're even, with the pull-out game, pulling out, doing everything that they can't do themselves to reassure that they do not have a child. And then, oops, it happens. The woman is pregnant. And she tells him, and he tells her again what he has already told her from the beginning, I do not want to be a father. And she decides, you may not want to be a father, but I want to be a mother. I'm going to have this child. Is he wrong for not wanting to be a father to that child and not doing anything when he has been very upfront with this woman from the beginning? That is the question. Does it make him a deadbeat if he decides?
I mean, and we have to look at this too, because, you know, as people, especially women, are going to say, yeah, he's a deadbeat because da 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 da. That's emotion. And as a mother, anyone who doesn't want to be tied to their child, I can't understand that, whether I wanted to have a child or not. I can't understand that. However, looking at it from the perspective of, I told you I don't want children. I'm doing everything in my power not to have children, not just the pull-out game. I mean, I'm doing everything in my power, and you're not doing anything on your end. I'm not saying it's okay to walk away, but I'm saying she needs to be held responsible too. She needs to have some, because I mean, having a child is not always easy, money-wise, time-wise, whatever the case may be. And if he's thought about that and said, I don't want to do this. This is not where I want to be in my life, blah, 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 blah. And she gets pregnant anyway. Granted, it takes two, but if he's trying to take the steps to not to be a father, why? That's not fair for him either.
Right.
Because now you've obligated him to pay for 18 plus years of something that's what he was trying to avoid.
Exactly.
So that's not fair either. We're, as women, we're like, oh yeah, I got this baby now, I gotta take care of it. You didn't have to. You could have taken the steps. Once he told you he didn't want to have children, you could have said goodbye, or you could have tried to protect yourself as well. So I don't think that that's fair to call him a deadbeat per se, when that's when he was trying to avoid. And, you know, my mom would be like, goody. I mean, she wouldn't say that to me, but I'm just saying, I mean, come on now. This man told you this. And now you're mad because he's walking away.
You're shaking your head, Hef. So are you in agreement with that?
It's no.
Well, like I said, you would never catch me slipping unless she gave me some type of sleeping medicine where I couldn't wake up and defend myself, and she took it from me.
Let's turn
I'm
it
just
around.
saying.
Let's turn it around like this as well. If it's no different to me than if I got pregnant and said, I don't want to have a child, and I decide to have an abortion, and the guy says, no, that's my child, I want to take care of it. Why do we get the right then to say, I mean, and I'm not, I'm just saying in general, why am I able to make that decision to say I'm going to have an abortion and he has no say?
Come through.
Yet, when I decide to have a baby and he doesn't want to, he doesn't get to walk away. He's called the deadbeat. What's the difference? We can't have it both ways. He's got just as a right to say, you know, to have a decision and having an abortion as well. I'm not saying that you can force her to have the baby or blah, 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 blah. But the fact of the matter is when it comes to abortion, we are the only ones to get to make a decision.
So Miss Keisha says he knew the risk when he lay down with her. You are right. He knew the risk and she knew the risk too. And she knew when that man looked her in her face and told her, I don't want children. I don't want this. What the outcome and the possibilities would be. I did a weigh-in on Facebook, and 90% of the feedback was, yes, the man's a deadbeat. If you know, even if he said he doesn't want to be, you know, a father, woman gets pregnant, he's not there, he's a deadbeat.
What?
And I thought it was just women, you know. And then I got, you know, have two lots of opinion. And it's crazy because I disagree. I disagree.
Again,
totally.
Well, again, what I'm saying is I can never put the onus on a woman. We can't trust y'all. So why would I put the onus on you all? I can only trust myself.
And I'm glad that you said that. The trust thing. What was you going to say, Miss Smiley?
Well, I was going to say, and we were talking about this beforehand, is if it was your sons, we're a lot of us women look at it from our point of view and think, oh, now we got this baby and you should have to take care of it, blah, 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 blah. I get all that. I get that. But think of your son. If you have a son and you know how some of these women are, and he's going around saying, hey, I don't want no kids, and then someone get pregnant, I guarantee you most of the moms are gonna be like, oh, no, that ain't my son. You got to do this. No. So we've got to step out of and stop making it personal and look at the big picture. Now, I agree with you, Hef. I do. He's taking responsibility as far as, yes, he knew the risk, and the same as Miss Keisha, he knew the risk. But the point is he said it to you first. And not only did he say it, he's protecting himself to prove to you, I'm being serious about this.
Of
I
course.
don't want to have children. So I don't know. I'm with Miss J on this one.
Yeah.
Because look, when I was in high school, I had a young lady, well, two, just two. I'm not making this up. She was very adamant about getting pregnant by me in high school.
In high
And
school,
I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That used to be the thing back in the day, being in high school pregnant. People thought it was cute. In my era,
well,
I don't know, but it was.
Because she saw the amazingness, the amazing part of me, and even to today, how amazing I am. But she wanted to get pregnant by me, and that used to scare the mess out of me. And what's that?
Did you want to be a dad at that time?
Am I a dad now?
Did you tell her you didn't want to be a dad at that time? Did you make it clear to her? Did you have that conversation?
Again, you talking about a 17-year-old kid. 16 to 17-year-old
kid. It happens to 16-year-old kids. It happens to 17-year-old kids.
But
this is why we got to talk about it, because it's happening to children. It's happening to men. There are too many men, young men and men right now, being called deadbeats. I think erroneously. If I think about my son, I have a child, and like Miss Smiley said, don't think about you, because a lot of people, I think when a lot of women are answering this question, they're thinking about themselves, like, oh, if I got pregnant and man say I'm gonna have my baby. Okay, well, let's talk about your son. All my viewers, all my listeners that got 7, 8, 9-year, 10-year-old little boys that's about to grow up and start getting girlfriends and dating and stuff, and that your son has a bright future, but he's going to be a teenage boy. They have sex. That's what they do. You know what I mean? They're going to start having sex with girls. They do not want children, and they tell girls like, yo, we doing this, we having fun. I don't want to be a dad. If you get pregnant, I do not want to be a dad. Next thing you know, this little girl pregnant, here she comes with this baby, and she like, he don't want to be a dad. Well, didn't he tell you that he did not want to be a dad, and you decided to be a dad anyway? Is my son a deadbeat at that point? No, he's not. He absolutely is not. Because my son, if you're raising a child right, and hopefully a man is doing what he's supposed to do as a man, if you're protecting yourself, all you can do as the man is make sure you strap up or pull out. And you could, if you want to micromanage your girlfriend and be like, okay, let me watch you take your pill or whatever the situation is. If you are doing all that you're supposed to do, and still this girl has this baby and you don't want to be involved, how are you a deadbeat? I don't understand the logic behind that. Like,
I agree.
You were upfront. See, what people need to, the conversations people need to have in current day is not with the man, it's with the woman. Let's talk to you about why you were okay with having a child with a man that said he didn't want to have a child with you.
That was my point. That's why I was saying in the beginning, if we're not on that same page, then why are we even doing this? It's not going to work most time any old stink away. You're like, hey, I don't care if we have a kid, and he says I don't. I'm still stuck on the wanting to have a kid in high school. How can you even determine if anybody's ready to be a parent in stinking high school? But anyway, that's another topic.
I was an amazing kid in high school, just like now.
I just don't like him. Jesus.
I can't take it. Close him off.
Miss Keisha says, but at the same time, condoms aren't 100% effective, and that is true. That is true. Condoms aren't 100% effective. The pill is not 100% effective. And people know this going into these relationships. Even a teenager knows when you go in a sex education class, they tell you condoms break. They tell you that sometimes the pills don't work. Sometimes you got to change the dosage, change the brand, all kind of things. It's not 100% guaranteed. But if you are still willing to take that risk, woman, little girl, lady, whoever, I'm talking to a woman now. If you are willing to take that risk, knowing that these things are not 100% with a man that done looked you in your face and told you, sis, if you get pregnant, I don't want your baby, and you still lay down with him, that's your problem. He's not a deadbeat. We need to have a conversation with you while you continue to have a relationship with this man. He's not the problem. You are.
And
I continue to have a relationship with a man that wasn't on the same level as you.
And I had this as a social worker. I had someone who had a man's baby, doesn't take care of that child. And he looked her in the face before he had that first baby and said, I don't want to have children. She had a baby. Then he came back and he told her, and I'm not making this up. He said, I don't want to have any more babies with you. And obviously I'm not taking care of the first one. She still laid down with him again and got another baby. Who's the one who's got the problem? I'm not saying they both don't, but if someone tells me that I'm basically garbage and I'm only good enough to lay down with, I don't want you, I don't want your child, and this is his physical child, why in the world am I going to lay down with this man yet again? She needs help. He needs help too for a different reason, but why am I making this decision again? Now, again, the point where Miss J is that he is not only saying he doesn't want to have a child, he is trying to protect himself too. He's just not saying, I don't want to have a kid and then just doing everything loosey-goosey. He is trying to protect himself. He's telling you, he's having an adult conversation saying, look, I thought about this. I don't want to be silly, but we're all human, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to have children and I'm going to protect myself. Are you protecting yourself?
Mm-hmm. That was the one of the biggest things. And in most everyone's comments, 85% of the comments said he should have been using protection. He should have been using protection.
That's what I'm saying.
They are.
It's not just, so I don't want to have to, everyone say, oh, I don't want to have kids, and then they do it, whatever. That's not the point. In this particular instance, he is protecting himself so that he doesn't have children.
Mm-hmm. It was either use protection or get a vasectomy. Okay, well, what about the teenagers? Because I'm like I said, this is just not for
doctor's not going to give a vasectomy to a teenager. They don't want to do it when you're in your 20s.
That's why I think most people that commented, they commented from a personal, perspective, and not thinking outside of themselves and thinking about their sons, their nephews, their male cousins, looking at it from their perspective, or looking at it from an inward, point of view, which, I cannot, because I have a son, you know what I mean? And it's so crazy to me because he has his first crush, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like life is happening, and life goes fast. Their childhood years go by really fast, and I just feel like, when my son does come to me and okay, I'm sexually active, mom, we're gonna have that conversation. Make sure you use protection. You're protecting yourself. Make sure she protects her. Mom they're dealing with her, making sure she protects herself. Have these conversations. If you're not ready, try not to have sex so much. Somebody has said, well, just don't have sex. You're silly. That's a silly ass comment. I'm sorry. But don't have sex. That's a natural human, natural thing to do. Oh, people still have it. What? You sound silly and simple. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I said what I said. So, I mean, people are going to have sex. But as long as they are protecting themselves, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a man to protect myself. I'm telling you, make sure you take your pill. I'm telling you, if you get pregnant, I'm not going to be there. I don't want it. And you decide to still have that child. He is not a deadbeat. He is not a deadbeat for not wanting. He told you.
Sorry.
This one right here.
Her and have to get out of here.
I can't.
She said that's why I turned vegan. Woo.
I cannot listen. She is so fun. Kids will change your life. Listen, I do to tell you that's a whole nother
she's like
show.
I. She's
Um,
like I knew I didn't want none. I turned
yes.
vegan.
Yes, but it's a really big thing. Like I said, there are so many men, young men, and grown men out here that are being labeled as deadbeats because they were in this same situation. I feel like at least they were honest enough. Do you know how hard that is to tell somebody, especially if you really like and want
And
to
then
quote
you
on
really,
you like,
that's
well,
what,
I don't want
especially
to.
if you really like someone, to tell them, hey, oh snap, that yeah, I don't have children. But it's funny thing is that you really shouldn't have, especially if you're a child yourself, a teen, you shouldn't have to say that. Who wants a baby at 15, 16, 17? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
You will be surprised back in
You
well
would
back in my
definitely
day.
be surprised. Yeah, in my day
Back in
too.
my
It was
day.
I don't. I mean,
Yeah, I'm serious.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that people at my school weren't pregnant in high school. I'm just assuming that it wasn't intentional.
mhm,
Nah. I had dealt with two
Who,
that was
who,
intentional, and I'm trying to go to college.
mhm.
They already knew I was going to college. They already knew I was going to be a rock star. So why not?
Oh
Why not link it
gosh.
with the best? Well, I'm just saying.
excuse me. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry.
Anyway, moving on, Chulo. No, seriously, this is a big thing, and it's actually a big thing in our state. So, everyone that's listening and watching, you know that we are all from the great state of Ohio.
Oh wait.
And
I
I know. Yes. So, here in the state of Ohio for 2019, because the 2020 census has not come out, there was 20,120. Let me just make sure I have this right. Let me see if I could do a screen share really fast of these numbers. It was very appalling. So here we go. This is our Ohio Department of Health for the state of Ohio. So in 2019, 20,102 abortions in our state alone. And it actually was a 2% drop from 2018. That 20,102 babies that could have been born, and that is
sad.
that's a really really big number, and that is just in our state. Um, so it kind of you know it makes you sad and things, just kind of read those numbers. And then I also was reading that we had 20,102 abortions, but there are 2 million families in the United States waiting to adopt children.
Got children, yeah.
And
Well,
2 million.
so the program that I worked in as doing social work was specifically for pregnant teens
Mhm.
and pregnant minorities. And what bothered me the most was that, the first time, accident, whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
But what I saw a lot of was women, not all of my clients, but some, who were having 2, 3, 4 kids by all these different men. So my question to them was, why are you having babies? Why are you doing this?
Mhm.
And their answer was, well, that's what he wanted. But what about you? Because this is your third, fourth kid, and not one of them is here with you. When are you going to take the responsibility to yourself? So on that lines, I'm saying he's trying to take some of the responsibility of not having a child. When are you going to take the responsibility? Because we tend to do that as women and say, well, you.
Mhm.
What about me?
Mhm. Right.
So
We
that's
do
why
hear that a
your
lot.
responsibility. If he ain't doing that, if he's just doing some lip service and saying I don't want to have kids and still doing everything willy nilly, then you ain't serious about what you said, and it's going to be too late. But if you're
Mhm.
trying to take the steps to not have children, you're trying to be responsible and having that conversation, you should be reciprocal, meaning she should be reciprocal as well, and say, I get where you're coming from. I don't think I want children right now either.
Yeah.
Or maybe I do. And if that's the case, then this shouldn't work. I mean, we shouldn't be this together because he's saying no and you're saying maybe, sure, I don't know. So I'm still agreeing with Miss J on this one. I wouldn't necessarily call him a deadbeat. Now, personally, I can't see how anyone can have a child eventually and not want to be in that child's life. But that's an emotional thing. That's not, I'm taking the emotions out of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, what happens often, and this is another, subject within this subject, is you have these men and they're not ready to be fathers, and they say, yo, I don't want to be a dad, and they feel like they're being forced to be a dad. So the woman, she has the child. So in the beginning of the child's life, the man, he still wasn't ready. So the mom, she's taking care of the child by herself. She feels alone. She's bitter. She hates the dad now. She's instilling the hate in the child. Then the father grows up and now he's ready to be a dad. The mom has built a bridge between him and the child and him and herself. She's so far gone with hate and anger about something she shouldn't even be mad about. So let's start there. Since he told you from the beginning he didn't want the baby, you chose to have the baby. Be mad at you that you taking care of that baby by yourself because you knew this was going to happen. You know what I mean? And then the dad, he's ready to be a dad now, and he can't be a dad because you so bitter, you bitter Betty. You know what I mean? And you won't open up and let him be a dad. And there's a lot of hurt dads out here, and they being called a deadbeat. Like, I'm a deadbeat because now I'm trying when I'm ready. There's so many different reasons why men don't want to have kids.
Right.
We don't even pay attention to. They could have had a bad relationship with their parents. They could have been molested. Like, they have so much. You never know why a person doesn't want to bring another child into this world. They can have illnesses that you don't know about because y'all just start courting and y'all ain't had these conversations yet. And they don't feel comfortable telling you what's underneath. Like, you forcing them into a situation. Like, it's so much. And I do not think it's right. And I do not consider you men that are going through this situation as deadbeats. To me, in my eyes, and I know I'm just me, my opinion really don't matter. You're not a deadbeat to me. Absolutely not. Especially if you told that woman you was honest with her, and that's integrity. You have integrity. You was honest. You told the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And
now,
I respect you.
On that note, you had that one. Now you got 2, 3, 4, 5, and in another year or two, I might call you a deadbeat because you already knew that.
Yeah.
There's a limit.
That's a whole nother situation. I'm talking about the first child.
I'm like, you keep after that, like, well, okay, stop now.
But he could already have a child, and it could be his second child. And he like, no, one is enough, one and done. I don't want any more, because some people ask me now, like, you want another kid? No, my son is it. Like, he walking birth control himself. Like, so some people, would say, I don't want any more children. Are they wrong for saying that they do not want any more children?
No, that's their choice. That's just like we have choices. They have choices too. So I do believe that, some guys are labeled deadbeats and they aren't really deadbeats. But, again, if we both said we don't want kids and we're not having, taking those precautions, either one of us are taking precautions, and then you leave and be like, I'm not ready to be a dad. Well, and I'm ready to be a mom. I'm 15, 16, 17 years old. Now that's a different one for me. If no one's protecting themselves and they're just like, hey, we don't want to have kids, but we're going to take that risk. Now you better not walk away because we took this risk together.
That's true. That's true. But we are going to lighten the mood and take a break really fast. And we're going to watch a little clip called the Deadbeat Conference. So they have conferences on deadbeats and how real deadbeats today, what they look like. So we're going to go ahead and watch this, and we will be right back.
All right, now, welcome everybody to the monthly Deadbeat Dad Conference. Oh, I'm not talking to you. All right, I'm talking to these niggas. We like to discuss the happenings of our so-called offspring, the skeet that got away, our children. My name is Charles Sr. Got your name. Now, before we start, I want to get into some terrible news for our brother Will right here in the front. His son just did the unthinkable.
He found you?
signed a 4-year, $85 million contract with the Dallas Mavericks.
Right. That was supposed to be me. That's my boy.
I got some nice words for him.
Yeah, brother.
How the hell you let this happen, man? Look at you. What are you like? 6'5", 6'6"? 6'4". You 6'4"? Okay. Your baby mama big as hell. I seen her drop you off.
She does.
She was white. You got a light-skinned NBA baby? Bro, they going nuts in the NBA this year. Threes, coming out the tunnel.
Nigga,
Drake.
I know. I got Sports Center. Damn, my
You know what?
bad.
Well, that's why we're here, all right? To cope. Yeah. Without losses. Yeah. Without guilt. Yeah. Without weak pull-out game.
Yeah! Whoa. My shit ain't weak, bro. She was like, deeper, harder. Me being too deep in there, I couldn't pull out in time. It was just too much pussy, there's too much ground to cover.
That's physics.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, here with the dick. It's physics. That's ain't nothing but inertia.
You went to school?
So what y'all saying? I'm the only dude that use rubbers?
I ain't using no rubbers. That's why I'm here. Thank you.
Give it up for our newest member. Go ahead, tell the gentleman who you are and what's going on.
What's up, everybody? My name is Devin, and my baby's 2 months old.
Man, congratulations, man. Don't ever look at that baby.
I bet he look just like you, huh? With the bald head and the cheeks and everything, huh?
No. I mean, my girl, she 2 months pregnant.
2 months pregnant?
What's wrong with him?
He's a new member.
No, this nigga stressing up a baby that ain't even here yet. You just nutted
hey,
that.
Man. Sorry about that outburst, man. You know, hey, I got somebody if you need them, you know, go, quick kick down the stairs. Boo! Ah!
No, fuck that, Quincy. This nigga's scared. That baby's still abortable. Charles Sr., how much time he got left?
Still got about 3 weeks, 23 days, 87 hours, and about 23 minutes.
You no goddamn deadbeat nigga. You a regular nigga with a brand new nutted baby. You in here because you want to be. Nigga, I'm a deadbeat for real. You ever called your son and say, happy 10th birthday, son? He said, nigga, I'm 23. You know what that's like? Shout him. I'm moving from state to state. Like I'm in a goddamn Coast Guard running from these goddamn sons I got. I can't even open the door for trick-or-treaters because all the kids got masks on. I don't know who the fuck these kids is.
So? You ain't the only one suffering. My son just became a goddamn millionaire. What I'm supposed to do? You know what? No, that's gonna help me. You know what? Because I can just go find another Dutch woman. Why should I be mad because he a millionaire? Drafted straight out of high school. I had 19 good years without him. To hell with him!
Yeah, it's all right to be mad, Will.
No, Quincy, no. I'm gonna marry some other kid's mom. I'm gonna put her son through college. I'm gonna help him go pro. Then he gonna have me some successful grandkids. He gonna be a better son than that other nigga ever was. And I sure as hell don't need him for that. Cause ain't a damn thing he can tell me about how to raise professional athletes. Why he don't want me, man?
Oh, man, it's all right, bro, man. Oh, man. Man, it's all right, man. All right, man. Cool, man.
Nigga, he don't want you because you left him.
Oh, you did do that.
I be fucking, I did.
Nigga, he would not be what the fuck he is today if you hadn't left him. Bro, the anger that you have from not knowing your biological father make you be able to dunk, flip, rebound, run fast. Name one nigga who had a father who make it to the fucking NBA.
One.
Steph Curry.
Charles Sr., what is New Nut still doing here?
Because I'm a new father.
Ah!
Hey, wait. Okay. Boy, you crazy fool, you.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, those are deadbeats, y'all.
That's hilarious. Oh God, that was a good one.
That is what you call a deadbeat. Okay, one that left, one that walked out. Okay, one that's just trying to come back because you got a contract because you about to get millions. That's a deadbeat, not the man that said in the beginning for you was even born he didn't want to be a father. I'm sorry.
Never mind. I better be quiet. I better be quiet.
Don't have Chulo. What you got to say?
Well, I used to date women who children were athletes.
Well, you only dated women that were athletes themselves, so it's only befitting for their children to be athletes too, huh?
Yeah, and that I knew their children will most likely go pro. So I would date their mom.
Oh my god. Are you you know people gonna watch this? You gonna have all kind of people outside your house like you would have dated my mama because your dog's gonna make it big. You creating problems for yourself. I hope your alarm system is activated tonight. Listen, if anything goes down, just call me and say, call Dr. Strong. I'm gonna be there. Okay, I got you. That's gonna be our code word, Dr. Strong. I know this is called 911. Hop on the highway, come to try to save you or something. No, all jokes aside, this topic actually was highly requested of the EOE Radio TV team. We appreciate our viewers and listeners weighing in, messaging in, calling in, giving us topics that are important to them and near and dear. They wanted the opinion of the EOE Radio TV team on this. So, to you, viewer, no, you are not a deadbeat. Do not feel that you are. I know that you're going through something right now. I know it's very hard. I suggest that you keep having conversations with this young lady that you're in this situation with and see if you guys can find a common ground. And even though I know you do not want to be a father at this time, I am pro choice. So it is, your decision, her decision, what you all do with um, your child at this time. I would just suggest if you do not want the child and she decides that she does not want the child, there are so many families that are waiting to adopt. You can be involved in the adoption process, get to know the family, make sure you're comfortable with that. But instead of, aborting the baby, I definitely would look into adoption as a choice because, again, 2 million people in the country, 20,102 abortions in the state of Ohio alone. Those numbers are alarming and disturbing. So, um, ladies, do not be offended if a man tells you he does not want to have children with you and he walks away and leaves you with a child if you continue to have relations with him. If a man tells you that he does not want to have children with you and you want to have children, he is not the man for you. You need to sever ties with him at that time. You cannot force him. It's like you're forcing him at that point to do something that he doesn't want to do. And that is why there are all these Christian graves all over the world.
Yeah, and I forgot to touch base with this, um, because I was married for a long period of time, and people never understood why I never had children initially. Because when we got together when we were very young.
Hmm.
But I had plans for my young married life because I believe, hey, we got married young, we should travel young. We should do this, we should do that before we should start having children. I didn't want to have children in my 20s. Who want to have children in their 20s? You know what I'm saying? Then you're raising children in your 20s, your 30s, and now you're 40. The children are gone. Now y'all can start doing things again. I didn't want to have children young, so that's why I didn't have no children initially because to me, I was just too young to have children at that time. So,
Hmm.
yeah. So,
At least you were able to, you had a choice. A lot of men are being forced into becoming parents when they do not want to. And so when 50 Shades of Grey came out, a lot of the chatter about the movie was, oh, there are all these disclosures people have to sign, and Beyonce making people sign disclosures, T.I. and Tiny making people sign disclosures for they come into the hotel room. It's sad. I almost feel like nowadays men going to have to start Christian graying women. Like, it wasn't just, oh, gag orders. You can't talk about what we do behind closed doors. No, that man had in writing, I do not want children. You're going to take this type of birth control every month. if you get pregnant, you're gonna go to this doctor and get their situation taken care of. And it's so crazy that he had to do that, but that's how he protected himself. And that's a crazy, sad, scary life to live, to have to, you meet a female and you're really into her, you're courting her, and now you know that, okay, now even if I tell this chick I don't want to be a father, it's up to her. She has my whole life and my whole world in her hands. She controls everything I do. So
Because you gave,
men,
see,
go
that's
ahead.
what my mother said. You never give a woman that much control.
Hmm. They have
You,
all the
you,
control.
you give her that's too much control.
Hmm.
So
Yep. At that point, and it's a very sad thing. So the only advice, to it seemed like to keep this situation from happening over and over and over again, and then being labeled as deadbeats when I feel like they're saying I don't want to be a father because they know they're not ready. They're not mature enough. They're not financially sound enough. They can have, things, mental things going on with them, physical things going on with them. They know they're not ready and they're being forced to it. Start Christian granny toes, make them sign disclosures or something. You tell her you don't want to have a baby, make her sign papers. Like, look, this is what I said. I said what I said, and then I mean, that's the only way you're gonna be able to protect yourself. So, ladies, when these men start asking for prenups and NDAs and all kinds of things, do not be upset because you guys are a lot of women are not playing fair. They're not playing
mm,
fair. If a man tells you he don't want to have a kid with you, and you had that kid anyway, that's just wrong. I mean, I'm not saying, get an abortion or anything like that. I'm saying do not date a man if you want children and you know that's what you want. Do not date a man that does not want children because you are going to be taking care of that child by yourself.
facts, facts,
Facts.
facts.
Facts. And so our way in is no, ma'am. He is not a deadbeat. It has been real. Thank you so much for tuning in to EOE Radio TV, and we will see you guys next time. And we out.